Um, I'm talking about why I closed my main channel down and kind of stopped supporting PlayStation. Mainly because the main problem I have with I still do have the PS4 by the way. The main problem I have with the PS4 is it really it's really like not innovative like in terms of features and games. It feels like you can really just take a PS3. I felt like I brought my PS3 to GameStop and they just took the old graphics card out and put a new one in. It gave me like another Killzone. That's pretty much how I felt. A lot of people say PS4 has no PS4 doesn't have games and all they show is multiplats. I'm like, no, I don't. Or these retarded ass indie games. I'm like, no. If I wanted to play indie games, I'll play them on PC. If I was going for multiplats only, I would play on the PC too. See, this like the PS4 doesn't have anything like cool in terms of features. It doesn't have really anything new in terms of games. Every game that's on the PS4 right now in terms of exclusives could have been on the PS3 easily. All you have to do is downgrade the graphics. There's no on Xbox One. Even if you dumb down the graphics to put on the 360, still wouldn't be possible to work on it because the amount of zombies on screen at one time. That's my example of like next gen, something that this literally could not be done on the last generation systems. And now for Forza with the drive towers and the cloud AI and all that stuff, or drive tower AI I meant, and then the cloud. That's another new thing that could have never been done on the freaking PS3 or 360. And then the Kinect with the voice commands are like on spot on now. You can snap, you can Skype and do all this cool stuff with the camera, instant switching. I don't understand why PS4 couldn't do something like that. The PS4 really does lack really badly in terms of exclusives. All it really has right now, for the first 5 months, all you really saw was Killzone and Knack. And then Infamous came out, and Knack was had like a rating of like I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think it was like a 54 on Metacritic. And then Killzone, I'm pretty sure it was like a 70. So these games aren't like amazing, like and they're not like blockbuster games at all. Infamous had a lower score than Titanfall, and I know Titanfall Metacritic had an 86. So I think Infamous had like somewhere in the low 80s. So that's like a C-rated game there. So you have like C-rated games, D-rated games, and F-rated games. And with Killzone, people say it's the most bought game, but it's also the most overhyped game. And I can prove that because it's the most traded in game. So people thought it was supposed to be some amazing game, and I thought it was going to be amazing. Sony did lie a lot about some of the specs of the game. It was not 1080p 60 frames per second online and campaign like they said it would be. It's actually closer to 720p. And this kind of proves my point. Like I did believe the game was 1080p like Sony said. So I don't understand what I'm trying to say is like on the Xbox One there's a lot of games like Call of Duty Ghosts which is upscale 1080p 60 frames per second. And on the PS4 there's native 1080p 60 frames per second games. And like you literally can't tell difference. Like the human eye can't even tell difference. Not only that, a lot of people think the Xbox One is stuck with this like 720p, 900p upscale 1080p bullshit for the rest of their lives, which is not true at all. Let me tell you why that's not true. A game called Call of Duty Advanced Warfare just got announced, and what did they show in the trailer? What did they advertise in the trailer? They said it was going to be like they made it very clear that what you saw was on the Xbox One. And if the PS4 version was supposed to be better, they would have obviously shown the PS4 version, so they could have, because if the PS4 version really was better than the Xbox One version, they would have showed it, so people would be like, oh man, these graphics are better. Oh, look how good these graphics are. So people would be more interested in buying it. But I think the game was just rushed for the Xbox One. That's why the game was 720 or upscaled 1080p and 60 frames per second. So in this next Call of Duty, it will be native 1080p 60 frames per second on the Xbox One and PS4. Especially now with the DirectX 12, that's going to help a little bit. But Xbox One doesn't even really need DirectX 12. It's still going to be able to be equivalent to the PS4. people made it seem a lot bigger than it actually is. The problem is, that's what kind of pisses me off about some of these idiots on YouTube. They think they're stuck with that sub HD bullshit for the rest of the console's life, which is not true at all. Microsoft is investing in virtual reality too, so I mean they're kind of neck and neck with Sony there. You can check that out on N4G if you want. What else is there to say about the PS4? I mean, I really like it. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Sony doesn't show like at least 3 or 4 quality exclusives, I will no longer play on the PS4. I will get an Xbox One. Oh yeah, another feature I forgot to mention about the Xbox One, everyone already knows that you can set up your cable box, you can go instant from your game to your TV instantly. That's another cool feature. But I definitely will. I think the chance of me switching to Xbox One is like at 90% right now, because the way I see it is Sony's gonna release like, this is the problem with Sony. All their games are like you play it once, you're done. They're not really offline and online type of games. Like every Uncharted I play, I go through it once and I'm done. I mean, it's not a type of game that, oh, once you beat the storyline you go play online, oh, and then amazing online. No. So Sony has never done online games right. Like I can't think of the last time they had an online game that's like equivalent to like Halo or some shit. And I've been the biggest PlayStation fans for life, like for a long time, since PS1, PS2, PS3 days. And I'm gonna tell you this right now: there has never ever been a Sony exclusive that has quality or a blockbuster online experience. And like if you don't like multiplayer, you gotta face it. That's the new future of gaming. This offline shit doesn't roll anymore. I mean, it's important to have a good storyline, but if that's all you have, that's not very good. That's why I kind of lean towards Microsoft this generation, because of their online and offline type of games. That's the main problems I have with the PS4. And oh yeah, one quick thing I want to mention. Alright, the PS4 sales, it's like a 7 million. Xbox One's like probably near 5 million right now. I don't see how the PS4 is technically quote unquote beating the Xbox One, mainly because the Xbox One is not even available worldwide. I mean, I think there's like 40 more other countries they still have to release the Xbox One in. So the PS4 is available in a lot more countries than Xbox One. So how could you even compare the sales when they're not an equivalent amount of they're not equivalently releasing amount of countries? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know the exact number, but I know PlayStation. Let's say PlayStation. I think it's somewhere around 40. I think it's 20 to like 30 extra countries the PS4 is released in, and the Xbox One's not. So start talking about the sales in a year or two, then we'll kind of settle down. It kind of bothers me when people say that the PS4 is killing the Xbox One in sales, because you can't even compare them. I mean, they're not even released in the same countries. I mean, how are you gonna come to this conclusion? But that's all I really have to say. There you go.